Do you remember the last time you turned off your iPhone? Probably not. Most iPhone users won't remember to turn off their iPhone and won't do it for a really long time. And if it happens, most likely it will be because the iPhone will run out of battery, and that is something that nowadays probably will happen very rarely, as we have chargers everywhere we go, and the iPhone's battery are now way better than they used to be, and the iPhone's battery will last for a longer time. So why you should turn off your iPhone? There are actually several reasons, and some of them are really important. That's why I suggest for every user to turn off their iPhone every day for at least 5 minutes. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do that and why you should do that right now. So first of all, turning off an iPhone, it's not very hard. You will have several ways. First of all, you can ask Siri if you want to do it the easy way. Turn off my iPhone. Just confirm right there, and you can go ahead and turn off the iPhone right away. You can do it by pressing the volume up, volume down, press and hold here until you see the slider, or simply go to your settings, general, and then go to the shutdown button right there. You can go ahead and turn off your device. But what's the reason to turning off a device every day for at least 5 minutes? Now, we have a really interesting story here to talk about. We have basically a report, a suggestion by the Prime Minister of Australia, who said that he has been suggested by cybersecurity companies that users should turn off their iPhones every day for at least 5 minutes. And that is something we have talked about on a previous video like a couple of years ago, and it's actually very accurate and very effective as well. So basically, hackers, someone that has infected a device with a malware, you know, those things happen actually even on iOS. On a previous video I talked about a malware that was infected into devices using iMessage, and you wouldn't even be able to see that. You will get a message that you won't be able to see at all. You don't need to take any action. It will do everything automatically, so you don't even know that it's there. But turning off your iPhone will actually stop those spyware from running in the background, and that's really important. So hackers all the time will try to make it like a spyware that will actually start automatically back when the iPhone boots up back again, but that's really hard to do. That's why closing all the background processes will offer another layer of security to your device, which is again really important. So just stop spyware running from the background simply by turning off your iPhone. I say every day. It is suggested that you do it every day. Probably none of us will do that, won't remember to do that, but at least a couple or 3 times a week, that should be really good to do, and you will have your device protected way more than just leaving it on all the time, booted up for weeks or months without ever shutting down. Now this also corresponds with another advice from the National Security Agency that previously recommended that hard rebooting smartphones at least once a week should be done by every user for the same reasons. Basically stop any thing that is going in the background, any spyware or malware that might be running in the background of your device. But not just these, there are other reasons that you should turn off your iPhone as well. Let me show you guys why. So if it's not for security reasons, which should be the reason number 1, then you can also do that to have a smoother experience on your device, especially if you have an iOS device that is older and you're running basically a newer software. You're running iOS 16, maybe on an iPhone 7, you will notice that the device after a few days won't actually perform as good. What you need to do, I would recommend you reboot your device or do a hard reboot by simply pressing volume up, volume down, and then press and hold the side button until you see the slider and then the Apple logo, and you're good to go. Once you have done that, you will notice that actually your device will perform way better, and you will have a much smoother experience on your device. Another thing here would be storage. Actually cache system files on your device. Now this is very effective. When you go to your device, you go to general and you go to iPhone storage right here. If you just scroll all the way down, you will see here something called system data. So what that basically is are like data that the system needs to run in the background, but sometimes that will be very high because of course the data will accumulate there, and that will be a very high number. Sometimes I've seen users have that at like 20 or 25 gigs. Now you can see right here it says system data includes cached files, logs, and other resources. Now what I suggest you do is of course you do a regular reboot to your device. Maybe once a week for this reason would be enough. You will notice that if you have here like more than 10 gigs, once you have rebooted your device, you will at least get a couple of gigs free here, which is really important, especially if you have of course a device that doesn't have a big enough storage. That will save a ton of storage on your device, and of course will clean all the log, all the cached files that are just like maybe even trash there, and even the system is not using, but it hasn't been able to clear them from your device. So a reboot will actually fix that and give you way more free space on your device. And another reason would be the battery percentage. How many times you have seen your device not actually showing the accurate battery percentage? That's because the device hasn't actually been rebooted for a long time. And most of the time this will happen while charging. I had this problem, I experienced this problem a lot of times when I'm charging my device, and I know it's at 100% because it had been on the charger maybe from 97%. It has been on the charger for another like 20 or 30 minutes, but it still shows the same battery percentage. That's because you need to actually calibrate the battery percentage there, so a reboot will actually fix that. Just try this out once you're charging your device and you see that it has basically been stuck at like a percentage. Most of the times it will be like at 97 or 98. While charging your device, try to reboot it and you will see it will actually jump to 100%. That's another reason that you should regularly reboot your device, because it will fix all those like minor problems that might interrupt with the battery percentage count there, or again the cache files and all that stuff. So again, it's really important that you reboot your device. Turn it off every day for 5 minutes, as we got suggested there from the Prime Minister of Australia and of course the National Security Agency. It is really important that you do that. I know I won't do it every day. Most users probably won't do it every day. We can forget about it, or we just don't have time to deal with that. But at least a couple of times a week would actually be very necessary. As we saw again from the iMessage exploit that was just discovered by Kaspersky, it is really easy for someone to infect your device, have spyware or have malware installed on your device without you even knowing. So do yourself a favor and reboot your device, or just turn it off for 5 minutes, maybe a couple of times a week. The best would be every day, but if you don't do that, just do it a couple of times a week and you're good to go. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead, leave a like if you did. Of course, don't forget to subscribe for more. I will see you on the next one.